Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ika Deavy Martyaningrum from Master Program of Mathematics Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. In this opportunity, I will present my paper with title The Impact of Problem-Based Learning Model through Learning on Students' Critical Thinking Ability. The introduction. The critical thinking ability is an important ability for students because influence on the success of learning, working, and living in the 21st century. The critical thinking ability will supply someone to not easy act and trust information without observation, associating based on the experience and logical reasoning. Based on the study of Arini and Juliadi, and then Nuriati, Zubaida, and Diantoro, the importance of critical thinking ability contradicts with the fact that students' critical thinking ability in lower group. And then problem-based learning is one of model with active learning and student-centered. The main of problem-based learning is to give authentic problem and meaningful learning to students and also facilitate students to investigate and reason. Problem-based learning implementation encourage students to have critical thinking ability in various activities such as asking questions and discussing a problem. E-learning is the use of internet technology to distribute of series of solutions in improving knowledge or skill. The benefit of using e-learning can be activated anywhere and whenever with interactive, effective, easily accessible feature and training students more independently in acquiring knowledge. E-learning used in this study is Google Classroom and WhatsApp application because it's were top-ranking media that students like during the COVID-19 pandemics. Several previous studies relating to critical thinking abilities were about understanding student critical thinking abilities based on gender and students' characteristic of lower and upper group critical thinking abilities. Based on the above description, this research is aimed to identify students' critical thinking ability who have learned with problem-based learning model through learning. In this way, we can get useful information about the characteristic of students' critical thinking ability and the implementation of problem-based learning through e-learning. The method used in the research was qualitative with case study approach. The study was implemented on 36 students of graduate junior high school in Banyumas, Central Java. Data collection was conducted using observation, critical thinking ability written test, and interview. First, we gave the learning with problem-based learning model through e-learning. Then we gave written test critical thinking ability. Written test instrument consists of 6 questions about surface area and volume of cube, prism, cuboid, and pyramid. It was constructed by indicator of critical thinking ability include checking the truth of an argument, making the conclusion, analyzing of the proof, and the algorithm identifying the sufficiency of the data to choose the right strategy, and the student answer used determine the category of critical thinking ability, then selected two students from upper group, two students for middle group, and two students from lower group. Six selected students got interview very quickly. And the next result and discussion. In this figure, show that the students' critical thinking ability who have learned with the problem-based learning model through learning is dominant in the middle group. Students in upper critical thinking ability group only 12%. Next, we describe the student critical thinking ability of students who have learned with problem-based learning model through e-learning based on the group of students' critical thinking ability. Upper group students can check the truth of an argument exactly, give a detailed explanation, and correctly identify the process or concept involved in the problem, identify the relationship between the concept involved, so they can make conclusion exactly. Analyze the algorithm or procedure. However, they have difficulty on proof analyzing that include the mathematical symbol. They have more detail and clearly answer. And then middle group students can check the truth of an argument, give a brief explanation, identify some of the concept involved. They dominate on analysis of mathematical proof rather than the algorithm, but they can identify the relationship between concepts involved so that nothing conclusion was given. Lower group can identify the problem and data needed to solve problems, so they are unable to check the truth of an argument and make a conclusion based on the process or mathematical concept involved. And they can analysis of the algorithm and prove correctly. So, based on the result, we can make a conclusion that it takes a time to learn and introduction problem-based learning and e-learning technology for students to create challenge and create more effective learning, so that can have more influence on student critical thinking ability. Based on the result, the research suggests to use a different learning material scope with longer time implementation to observe to obtain a more complete picture about the students' critical thinking ability who have learned with problem-based learning model, and enhancement the students' critical thinking ability. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum.